What is a survey funnel, and why is it potentially your secret weapon to drive to 4 times more engagement and some sort of relative correlated increase as well in terms of your booked leads and sales? And why does no one talk about survey funnels? Why is this not talked about more? We're going to talk about what a survey funnel is, how to build one, all the secret nooks and crannies and best practices, and why others just aren't talking about it, coming up in this video. Hi, my name is Matt Ackerson. I'm the founder and CEO of autogrow.co, in case you may not already know. And today we're talking about what is a survey funnel. I think a survey funnel is amazing. It has done truly wonders for our business. And what is the problem that a survey funnel actually solves, though? Well, generally speaking, you could say it helps you to segment your audience. It helps to, through personalization, to drive more engagement. But why does that matter? Well, it matters because segmenting, which allows you to personalize, which allows you to send more relevant content to your audience, this leads to higher open rates. It leads to higher click-through rates in terms of your follow-up email funnel generally. Although you can, for the purposes of this video, we're going to talk a lot about really the email portion of the funnel, but conceptually, the funnel can be extended to include retargeting ads, for example, and also personalization on your website using one advanced tool in particular that I'll share with you in this video too coming up. Let me actually just show you what sort of results we have gotten with a survey funnel, because they speak for themselves. So we implemented our first survey funnel around 2015. And prior to that, we were only seeing like around maybe 10% engagement or so. 10% engagement according to our data on ActiveCampaign. And you can see that data on the screen here. Fast forward, we rolled out a basic first version of this, surveying and segmenting just based on prospective clients, leads opting into your email list. We were segmenting just based on their answers to one question, which was, what problem do you want to solve right now? And as far as, marketing, the potential answers were things like, okay, I want to grow my traffic. I want to, grow my email list, grow my leads, grow my sales conversions, things like this. And just segmenting based on that one single simple question when people would opt in, our engagement rate went up to 28%. But more recently, we've rolled out a new version of the survey funnel, and our interaction rate, it has continued to climb, 31%, and some days even jumping up to 40%. So again, went from around 9% to 28% with version 1, version 2, over 30%, so between 31 and 40%. Pretty great results just as far as that. But what can I say in terms of sales and leads? What I can tell you is that as a result of implementing the survey funnel right from the start, even just years ago, including today, there is a clear correlation between implementing it and just seeing an immediate bump in terms of number of bookings that we would get and number of actually sales. I think the reason for that is simple. If people are more engaged, if you are delivering more relevant content that helps them to solve your problem, you're going to be more receptive to that. You're going to be more engaged with that content. The awareness of the brand of the company that cares enough to invest enough to do that, you're going to pay more attention. You're going to be more aware, and you're going to be more likely to, if not buy, then perhaps to share with others who may end up buying or becoming leads or clients. So that is just a hint of the power of a survey funnel. A survey funnel, you might be wondering, can it work for my business? I'm selling professional services, I'm selling info products, I'm selling, whatever it might be. So I believe maybe if you're a local plumber, maybe in that case, people may not be really subscribing to a list, but depending on what your offers are and how much of a range of maybe supplemental products or offerings that you might have, even if you're a local plumber, I think you could extrapolate this to work for you. Again, the principle at work is personalization and segmentation leading to higher engagement and people just wanting to hear what you have to say because it's relevant to them. It helps them to solve their problem. A couple of examples of this working for other businesses though. The Profits Academy was able to bring in $47,000 using a 2-week Facebook ad quiz. Okay, so the quiz, in other words, in this case, was the survey. And this helped them to bring in an immediate jump in terms of their sales for their product. And Guitar Mastery Method obtained more than 5,000 leads in less than a week using a survey funnel. Now, if you'd like to dive a little bit deeper into the backstory and these examples and additional examples of a survey funnel working for a variety of businesses, I encourage you to go read the full article included with this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, it will be linked below. If you're watching this on our website, well, this video is probably in the same blog article as the What is a Survey Funnel article, so you can just scroll down for that information. But why do you not hear more marketers talking about survey funnels? What is it? Is there something wrong with a survey funnel? Is there something? No. It actually works incredibly well because the principle that it is based on is very sound. There are entire businesses and tools, one of which I'll tell you about in a second, as promised, that are based on personalization and segmentation. I think the reason why people don't talk about it more, at least the way that most marketers probably think about it, is that it's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. And this is why, if you're wondering, well, how do I actually go about starting to implement a survey funnel for my business? It's actually simpler than you think. And I'll give you the tactical step-by-step in a second here. I think the reason why people don't recommend it more or talk about it is because it's a lot of work. So most people just don't do it because there is an upfront investment. And I think that the way that they are thinking about it, the way that they execute on it or think about potentially executing on it, is that it involves some setup and it involves a lot of content writing, but it truly doesn't have to be that difficult. So let's get into how you can actually implement this for your business and do it under 10 hours, all right? So first off, I think the problem that a lot of marketers who have considered this idea and the reason why they don't execute on it is, again, because of that potential amount of work. It's like, okay, if I have one question and for each segment in terms of, let's say you have, 5 potential answers to that question and you want to send 5 emails, which is really not a lot for follow-up. And each of those, 5 emails has unique content and it's personalized. So that's 5 segments times 5 emails. That's 25 emails right there just for a basic survey funnel. And they might say, yeah, I could implement this. Let me go post on social media instead. Let me go keep doing what I'm doing with content marketing. And that's fine. But again, this is going to help to supercharge the relationship that you have with your email list. And that's happening conceptually, that's happening towards the middle bottom of your funnel, okay? And that's why this can have a real impact on having more qualified leads who are getting on the phone with you if you're selling services or you're selling high ticket, or just more sales if you're selling info products, SaaS, whatever it might be, because your relationship is going to be better, the engagement's going to be that much higher. You're going to get more leads and more sales as a result. To plan this out, you need to know, well, what are you going to segment based on? In other words, what questions are you going to be asking in the survey? I recommend coming up with 3 questions, okay, but maybe only using 1 ultimately to start. So you can start gathering data for the other segments and that will inspire you, to keep building on it for later, but you only segment based on, the answers maybe to 1 question to start. Because I want you to get version 1 of this up and running quickly, because that way you're going to feel encouraged and you're going to see the results and you're going to want to invest more and you'll be like, Matt, awesome. I did what you told me and I got a result. So what I recommend from experience seeing what works and what doesn't is segmenting based on people coming, to your website, which is, more or less the middle of your funnel. They might be coming to your blog article or to a landing page if you're driving traffic from ads. And this is the first question that you're going to segment based on. Ask them either what is your biggest challenge, and the challenge should be something directly or indirectly related to obviously your business. You don't want to, if you're selling red triangles, you don't want to be asking a question that would only ultimately potentially be relevant to making an offer on a blue square, to use a geometry example. So the question that you ask and the potential answers that you give should be relevant. And you can see an example of version 1 on the screen right now of what our survey looked like. So we asked basically people, what is your biggest challenge? To put it another way, what is the problem that you want to solve? Okay. The second question is to help you segment later on when you want to get all fancy and you want to have, many more emails and you're cool with that. You understand how to set it up. You're encouraged. You see it working. The next question is to help you segment based on identity. And identity allows you to speak to the person in terms of how they identify this. I identify as, an entrepreneur. That is part of who I am. I identify as a freelancer. I identify as a small established business. I identify as an enterprise brand marketer. Whatever it might be, this allows you just to further tailor and tune the content and the copy in your emails. When you set this up later on in your CRM or email marketing tool, email automation tool, again, you want to keep it simple because we're talking about at least a couple dozen emails, which I'll talk more about, just a quick hack for how you can get around that's a good amount of emails I have to write from scratch. Not necessarily. So just assume that you're going to segment based on the first question. What problem are the people who are opting into your email list looking to solve? And then the third question, if you want to throw it in there, this is most relevant if you have more than one offer or that you will have multiple offers in the future. So for instance, if you sell professional services, but you also have a course, asking this third question will help you to segment so that you can make a tailored offer of the most relevant product or service to your prospect who's on your email list in the future, or even immediately. I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. So the third question might be something along the lines of, and you can see an example of that on the screen in the screenshot, what describes your need right now? Are you more likely to apply what you will learn by doing it yourself or hiring it to someone to do it for me? I intentionally worded this question this way in the initial implementation of our survey funnel because I didn't want to come off as, the way you answer this question is we're going to just hit you over the head with sales and offers for products and services. I want it to be purposely a little subtle. But some people, they read between the lines. It's pretty clear why we might be asking this question. But again, it's all about delivering the most relevant offers possible. And people understand that. So, and that's part of why, we consistently had a 40% conversion rate when it was 2 steps like this, where we would have 1 step to capture the email address and the first name. And then on the following page, we would ask people to take 2 seconds to answer this 2 or 3 question survey. We had a 40% conversion rate right out of the gate. Today, we're using a special tool, which I'm going to tell you about now, that allows us to capture the survey information up front. So let's talk about what tools you might need to execute and implement your survey funnel. And again, I'm going to keep this high level for this video. And I encourage you though, if you are serious, if this is kind of whetting your appetite in terms of you see the connection as the more I talk about how this could work for your business and you want more details of how to implement it, go read the article. I wrote it just for you guys and I think you'll get a lot out of it. And if you can't tell, I'm really psyched to be sharing this with you because it gets results. And because if you do it, it's a little bit of a moat, of a defensive barrier that your competition is less likely to do because it requires a little bit of work and they might not know some of the little shortcuts and hacks that I'm giving you here. So tools to help you do this and get up and running fast. In terms of forms to actually collect this information, Cognito Forms is a freemium form building product. I've used Wufoo in the past, but since SurveyMonkey acquired them, not so much of a fan, and we switched to Cognito Forms and never looked back. And Cognito Forms has more functionality, even a better price. So I recommend Cognito Forms because when people opt into your email list, what will happen if you use something like Cognito Forms, you'll redirect them to a thank you page or a post opt-in page. And this is where you will present them with the survey. And again, here's what it might look like just so you can visualize it. This was version 1 from several years ago of what it looked like for us. I'll show you what it looks like today as well. And this is what it might look like if you embed the form on the page and maybe just give a little explanation of, what's the benefit of them actually filling this out. So Cognito Forms is what you can use there. It's simple, it's easy to use, and it's free to start. And you can hook that up to Zapier so that the contacts that fill it out will get piped into your CRM. And not necessarily the contacts, but like the tags related to the email. Whatever form you are using, like let's say it's Sumo or some other opt-in monster, if you redirect them, you want to have in the URL the email address be populated into a specific little field. That way Cognito Forms can pick up that data and they don't have to enter their email address again. You could also do this like right on the form, but if people see a bunch of drop down options, I mean, the conversion rate's going to be lower versus if you incrementally do it. And this way too, if people drop out of the, process of, that second step, filling out the form, you can still follow up with them because you already have their email address at that point. ActiveCampaign is the tool I recommend at this time. It's an imperfect tool, but I find that it is very feature rich and it's highly capable in terms of helping you to segment based on tags, based on lists, and based on other segmentation actions and triggers and whatnot. So it's a pretty advanced tool. In the past, I've seen some bugs with them, but they have gotten better over the years. We've been with them for 10 years. And at this moment, I would recommend them over Drip. I think Drip might be overpriced compared to them. I would not recommend MailChimp. I just think that they're a better solution for startups. And I just think that they're, from my experience, maybe it's a little different now. Do your own research on this question. But I think that MailChimp is a great company. And I think their tool is great for startups, but for email marketing automation, I think ActiveCampaign is much more feature-rich and much more flexible. We did write and create a video about MailChimp recently, so if you want to check that out, the link for that will be in the description and in the article as well. We talked about how they grew to from bootstrapped from nothing to 12 billion. We talked about how they grew from $0 and bootstrapped to a $12 billion sale to Intuit. And on the screen too, you can see a screenshot of how you might segment on ActiveCampaign. So now I want to tell you about the tool that I use today, and it is called WriteMessage. And WriteMessage we actually use instead of something like Cognito Forms or Form Builder tool, because WriteMessage integrates directly with our CRM, with our email marketing, email automation tool, ActiveCampaign. It works with any other CRM as well, like Drip and MailChimp and others. And it's designed specifically, if you can't tell by the name, WriteMessage.com. I know the founder personally, good guy, very smart guy, and we're friends. But I'm not recommending it because we're friends. I'm recommending it because, if I had more time, this is the tool I would have built, because it allows you to survey and segment directly on your site and integrate with all of these different tools. So people, when they come back to your website, if maybe they answered one question but didn't answer a second, they'll be reprompted to fill that out. It allows you also, for instance, so here you can see on the screen a screenshot of one of the questions in our survey funnel form, and people can answer it with just one click. So it's very convenient, it's very frictionless. So this helps us to keep the conversion rate high, and we're getting this information up front before someone actually opts in, to get the lead magnet that we are offering. But you can organize it either way. You can make the survey questions come after or before, so it's nice and flexible like that. But not only will it help you to keep the segments all organized, but it allows you to personalize the content on your website as well as in your email funnel, because it will pipe the tags right into the contacts associated with them, when it captures the email, in ActiveCampaign, for example, in our case. But it can also help you to make the text on your website or even the design dynamic. So if someone was coming to our homepage, for example, and they said that, whatever, copywriting is the most interesting, like let's say that we asked a question about like what skill set is most interesting to you in terms of delegating your marketing tasks, because we provide a done for you digital marketing team here at AutoGrow. So we might have Right Message just instantly change the copy on our homepage. When that person comes back who opted into our email list, we know that that person said, oh, copywriting is the most important thing, or design. So we might personalize the headlines on our homepage in our funnel that way, or on our pricing page too, maybe the FAQs a little bit. So you can really go crazy with this. I'm not recommending you do it out of the gate, but it's a great tool, and it provides us a lot of value as far as implementing and executing our survey funnel. Okay, so those are the tools that I recommend that you use. Now, I have a full write-up and breakdown of more of the steps involved to create your survey funnel and have it get you results in terms of leads and sales and higher engagement rates. So I'm going to keep this the end of this video. I'm going to keep this high level, but I encourage you once again, go read the full article if you want the full breakdown. Okay, so at a high level, how you implement your survey funnel is the following. We've already more or less gone over step one, which is just thinking strategically. What should your questions be? How do you want to segment your audience when they come into your email list? Because again, the value of segmentation is that you can send more relevant content on an ongoing basis. And the way that we implement our survey funnel is people come in and they get a drip sequence of at least 5 to 7 emails with relevant content based on what they said they were interested in, and who they are. Our survey funnel sequence has over 250 emails in it. And again, I'm not saying to go that crazy with it, especially in terms of your first implementation. 25 emails is going to be more than enough. And here's the hack that I think you should know about that will basically take all of the work out of having to write these emails from scratch. And no, it's not ChatGPT. ChatGPT is, in my experience, still has a long way to go. AI in general, a long way to go in terms of just writing quality content that Google, for example, is always recommending to help you rank high in search engines, although the SEO isn't really relevant if you're writing for emails. But you know what I mean, in terms of EAT, experience, expertise, authority, trust. So AI is really not going to help you a lot there. And this is also why, fundamentally, we think philosophically humans have to really be the ones using AI at most as a tool, but still doing the writing and the rewriting and the critical thinking and the editing. Anyway, I digress. The next step is to actually take the tools that I recommended and you want to implement basic version 1 of the survey funnel. So you want to go into your CRM, into your email automation tool. You want to set up an automation where people come in at the top and then it branches down into the different segments. And again, keep it simpler to start, 3 to 6 segments maximum, so that you can get this out there and you can get it working, you can start seeing results. And then in terms of the content of these emails, which will be in the following step, but I'll just tell you about it now. The hack that I use is we just repurpose our existing blog articles. So we will custom tailor a blog article and put it into an email that we send to our email list. And this way, we're not writing something from scratch. We're just tweaking some words here and there because the content is already proven, it's already live, it's already been on our website. Now, if you don't have hundreds and hundreds of articles already published like we do on our website, because we've been doing this for a long time, and we have a decent reputation with Google because of it, you can even do just delivering, I think, content from others who are authoritative sources. Maybe some sort of a roundup of tips from different articles, and you kind of combine multiple articles into like a list of tips. You could do something like that, just as long as it's relevant to helping them solve their problem. And later on, you can always come back and you can tailor it more based on the second question, how they identify as a type of business or type of consumer for your target market. So you set that up in your CRM, your email automation tool, and then you want to set up the form. You can either use something like embedding a Cognito form into your website, or you can use Right Message as well, which is a little more seamless, but I think the price is a bit higher by comparison. But don't get too bogged down with this step. Just focus on getting version 1 up there and launched. And then, And then, okay, what happens? How does this result in you actually ultimately driving more leads and sales? Well, ultimately, again, you are giving value. If that value is quality, if it is tailored to helping them solve the problem that they want to solve, then at the end of the sequence, you can drop them into another, sales follow-up sequence, for example, that will make them an offer for your products and or services. And they're going to be more receptive to that. And again, because you now have this data, once you have this implemented and you see it working, you can take this data and you can make that second follow-up sequence, which is, call it a sales email follow-up sequence. You can personalize the follow-up there as well. And your conversion rate will then be that much higher as a result of you tailoring what you're saying and how you're saying it to the specific problem that they are looking to solve. So I hope you found this video helpful. And again, I encourage you to go read the full article, but that's it for today. Once again, my name is Matt Ackerson. I'm the founder and CEO of autogrow.co. And if you would like to have a reliable, done-for-you marketing team who could actually just take all of this so that you don't even have to lift a finger, you can actually just hit record and send us a voice note if you want, or a Loom video, and we'll execute on it for you. Whatever marketing task or project you want to get done. But in particular, if it's a survey funnel, where you want to work with someone who has done it before, and you understand the strategy, autogrow.co can be really helpful in helping you to execute on this survey funnel strategy. So check us out if you're interested. You get an all-in-one done-for-you team. So that's up to 13 different skill sets: copywriting, design, development, ads management, and so much more. Autogrow.co, we have a $7 for 7-day trial. Hopefully we'll get to work together. But in either case, I encourage you, go take action no matter what on the content and the tips and the strategy within this video, and you will see a result. But you have to have a bias for action ultimately. So leave a comment. Let me know what you found most interesting and most valuable in this video. And let me know if you have any questions at all. Potentially we'll make a follow-up video. Until next time, keep auto growing and stay focused.